Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is yet another vlog, and in this vlog, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on a few movie trailers, some upcoming Blu-ray releases, and I will be showing some gifts that were sent to me by a couple friends of mine. Um, and I will also be answering some questions from Johnathan, who sent me an early birthday present because my birthday is coming up on the 2nd of May. Now, before I get into sharing my thoughts on some trailers, I want to show you what I have here in terms of the gifts that were sent to me. Now, the first one is from Mike M. Longtime friend and subscriber of mine. He let me know that he was gonna send me this, and I got it, I think, a week or two ago in the mail, and that's the Blu-ray of The Dream Team with Michael Keaton, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, Stephen Furst. I only had this on DVD, so I was really happy to get this on Blu-ray. So thanks, Mike. Um, the rest of the stuff here is all from Johnathan. Some early birthday gifts. So we have some 4Ks. We have the ultimate cut of Watchmen. We have Batman Returns. I've heard this is actually a really good transfer. The first film has a transfer that's kind of a mixed bag. I wouldn't mind adding it to the collection one of these days, as well as the 4Ks of Forever and Batman and Robin, because I have the 4K releases of the Nolan trilogy, so it'd be nice to get those as well sometime. Then we also have Alien, the 4K release. I heard a rumor that Fox and Disney might be planning on doing an Aliens 4K box set sometime this year. And by aliens, I mean all of the Alien films, not just Aliens. So it's an Alien box set, and I honestly highly look forward to that if they are going to come out with that. But I've heard some good things about the 4K transfer of Alien as well. Here we have South Park on Blu-ray. Did not have this. I only had it on DVD, so that's a good addition to the collection, the South Park movie. Here we have Muppets Take Manhattan. This is one of the harder to find Muppets Blu-rays. I would say it's probably the one that will cost you the most, so I'm really, really happy to get this on Blu-ray. Only had it on DVD. Haven't seen this in a while. I remember actually liking it quite a bit, and I would love to get the rest of the Muppets films on Blu-ray, because I only have Muppets from Space on Blu-ray. Then we have some DC animated movies. We have Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay, and then we have Batman, Soul of the Dragon. Seems like it's a 70s martial arts meets blaxploitation kind of Batman movie. Sounds interesting. And then we have a couple DVDs. We have Star Crystal. This fucking movie. I'll take it though for the collection. And for the eventual time that I'm gonna have to revisit that piece of shit for the 80s horror book that I want to do. And then we have season 1 of Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist. So that is it for the gifts from Johnathan. So I want to give him a big shout out and large amount of appreciation for his generosity. Not only for these gifts, but for all the gifts throughout the years, as well as to all of you who have ever sent me anything or donated anything on PayPal. To provide a little bit of an update for those of you who have donated and have made paid requests, I still have your requests on a list. I just had some other requests that were ahead in line, but for some of you that are still waiting, I will 100% absolutely get around to them. But my list is getting a little long, a little a little large, so it might take me a bit, but I promise I will absolutely get around to all of the paid requests from all of you. I have a plan set up to do reviews of Friday the 13th, 6, 7, and 8. And then after that, I will start posting some requests from some other people. And then I'll get back to Friday the 13th. So that is my plan. And once again, thank you for your donations. Thank you for your support. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the upcoming content. So, Johnathan did also send a letter, and I will get around to reading that uh, by the end of this video. But for right now, I want to share my thoughts on some upcoming DVD and Blu-ray releases. I already pre-ordered some, like the upcoming 4K Steelbook of Last Action Hero, and Scream Factory announced that they're going to be doing House of Wax, the House of Wax remake, which I really like. I thought it was an incredibly underrated remake, and I think I even said that I would love for them to do a special edition Blu-ray of that film, because they did one for 13 Ghosts, they did another one for Ghost Ship, so I was hoping that they would also do the other Dark Castle film, House of Wax, and they are. So I am really looking forward to that release. And Paramount just recently announced for their Paramount Presents series, they're going to be releasing a new 4K remaster of 48 Hours, and they're also finally going to be releasing another 48 Hours on Blu-ray. It doesn't seem like either of them are going to have a ton of features, which is unfortunate, but understandable considering it seems like Eddie Murphy just doesn't want to do any interviews. And I don't know where Nick Nolte is and what he's doing. But it's one of those things where you have two films that definitely could use new releases. The first film could have used a new remaster, and they're both getting remasters in 4K, so at least they're getting new transfers. There are interviews with Walter Hill, I think, on both of them. I don't know how extensive the interviews are. And unfortunately, with another 48 Hours, they don't have the deleted footage, which I have just come to accept the fact that they probably will not have the deleted footage. I think the deleted footage is just gone. It's just gone. It was left on the cutting room floor because the edits were made so late in the game that they probably rotted away. As sad as that is, that's probably the case. So, it's unfortunate, but I'm still looking forward to picking both of those up because I don't have either of them on Blu-ray. I only have them on DVD. And in terms of any other upcoming releases, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So those are the ones that I wanted to definitely point out. Um, and before I get around to talking about some movie trailers, I want to talk about some other things. Um, as you can see by the picture quality, I got a different camera, and it's a webcam. It's the higher model in the Logitech brand. It's the Logitech Brio. So I've been really enjoying that. Although I've been having a little bit of an issue working with lighting and trying to figure things out. So forgive me. I got a lot of learning to do when it comes to working with this camera. So it's taken a little bit to get used to. That's why you see some videos that have a filter on them where it's a little darker, because the way that I had the lighting, I didn't really like it, so I had to add a filter to try to compensate. Um, I've also gotten some electronics that I can't show you because they're heavy and there's really isn't much of a point to show them on camera. But I did invest in some extra boosts for my 4K television. I got a Sony uh, audio video receiver, so it enhances your sound and your picture quality. I've noticed a considerable difference in both with the sound bar in terms of the sound and also the picture quality. It really does do a great job giving you more. And it wasn't cheap, but if you got the money and you are realizing that your 4K TV isn't really doing it for you, or you think that there could be a bit of an upgrade, you don't necessarily have to buy a new TV. You can buy a receiver, and especially if you have a surround sound set up, then that can be enhanced as well. I actually have two of them because I have a newer model and then I have an older model from a few years ago that I got at a thrift store. And the reason why I have a second one is for a backup, and also because there is a catch with the Sony receiver. For some reason, when it comes to certain DVDs. So, with the receiver that is the newer model, it does have an issue with 4:3 DVDs. Not all of them, but certain ones, they stretch the picture out. So, it makes things look off. So the older version, the older model that I have doesn't do that. And speaking of electronics, I also am in the process of upgrading my TV to the 8 series by Samsung. So the one that I have currently is the 6 series. So yeah, and I got a lot of other stuff planned in terms of birthday fun. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be going on a massive full day of hunting for DVDs and Blu-rays in downtown Portland. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And I did get a lot of other titles that I haven't shown you yet. So it might be one of those things where the next DVD and Blu-ray update might be a feature-length video because I have so much that I haven't shown you guys yet. So anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about some movie trailers. So here is the deal. There isn't like a ton of trailers that I feel are like 100% worth talking about, but there's a few of them. For one, I want to talk about Oxygen, which is a upcoming film by Alexandre Aja, who has had a really good track record as of late. The last film I saw that he did was Crawl, and I really liked it. And this is a film that shows promise, an interesting concept, a sci-fi thriller about this woman that wakes up in a pod and doesn't remember who she is and has to pick up the pieces and figure out her past while she's running out of oxygen because there's only like 35% oxygen left in the pod. Simple concept, but I think it has a lot of potential. And the trailer looked really promising. Uh, I really liked the trailer for The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. I thought it actually looked like an improvement over over the last version. I mean, over the last film in the series. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, the main reason why I'm looking forward to it is I think the case is more interesting, and it seems like the two actors and Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are going to have more to do in this. Like they're going to be more of the focus, unlike the second one where it seemed like they were only half the focus, and they were trying to build up this other character so they could have the prequel, the nun. So yeah, that one looks like it could be quite good. The newer trailer for Army of the Dead looks like a crazy blast of horror and action. The kind of thing that I think that Zack Snyder is better suited for. That's, at least now, that's the kind of stuff where you can just kick back and not try to be too pretentious or try to be deep or whatever, and just let loose and just make a fun action movie. Speaking of action movies, there was a longer trailer for Fast and Furious 9. Eh, some of the action looked okay, but for the most part, it was just lackluster. This franchise really doesn't need any more entries. They should have just ended it after 8, and that's it. But we're going to get 9, and we're going to get 10, and who knows what else after that. There was a new trailer for the Hitman's Bodyguard sequel. The Hitman's Bodyguard's wife. Looks like it could be fun. I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Sam Jackson, Salma Hayek. The first one was a really enjoyable, fun action movie. Uh, but I don't know about the whole thing about Ryan Reynolds' character not wanting to be a hitman and whatever. I don't know how they're going to work with that. Um, and I just don't know about that film. It's The Hitman's Bodyguard is one of those films like, did we really need a sequel? Like, did we really need another one? I mean, we'll see. And other than those, I don't really. Well, I guess I could talk. Well, I already talked about the mini puffs from Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I really did like. And there was a new trailer that came out with those. No, it wasn't really a new trailer. It was just a new clip with Bill Murray and Ivan Reitman reacting to the mini puffs, and that was fun to see. It was fun to see those two react to that sequence. Um, I don't know. I don't think I did talk about Shang Chi. So I saw the trailer for Shang Chi. Did nothing for me. I thought it was incredibly dull and generic looking. I do not understand the hype for it. It didn't really look like a theatrical effort either. It looked like something you would see on Disney Plus. It didn't look like something that warrants a theatrical release. It actually looked pretty cheap, and the action was just forgettable and didn't really get my adrenaline pumping. Just one of those things where I just wasn't impressed with it. If it looks great to you and you think it looks really good, to each their own. But I just I I wasn't impressed. I know some people said it looks so different, unlike any other Marvel movie. It's like I didn't really see it that way. I didn't think it looked that different. And some of the comments saying it's like a Jackie Chan movie, I definitely disagree with that. Um, it honestly is a bit of an insult to Jackie Chan films if you're trying to say that this is reminiscent of that, of at least some of his best work. If you're talking about some of his worst, lesser films, then sure. Some of his mediocre efforts, sure. But if you're trying to compare it to Jackie Chan in his prime, that's a slap in the face. So, I guess the other thing too is I don't really care. I am so burned out by the Marvel films, even though I'm going to announce it here before Black Widow comes out. Um, well, actually, the month of Black Widow, because I think it's going to come out earlier in the month, and I'm not going to get around to all of them before that. But the month that Black Widow comes out, I think it's June or July, I'm going to be doing a marathon of the MCU films. I'm going to be reviewing all of them. So you'll finally get to hear my thoughts on Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man, Far From Home, and so on. And as well as my thoughts on some of the earlier Marvel films. And yeah, I thought it was only fair because I've reviewed pretty much almost every single entry in the DC Cinematic Universe. Might as well tackle the MCU. And I've done some older reviews, but I'll just redo them because it's about time. But yeah, that's really all I got to say about the trailers. Now we get to the letter. Um, like I've done before, I'm just going to focus more on answering questions instead of reading the entire thing. Uh, He wishes me a happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Talks about all these other, talks about the other films that he sent me. He's asking me about star ratings for certain films. I'm going to get back to those. He says that he saw Kong versus Godzilla Nobody and he had a blast. Nobody's another film I want to do a review of, as long as not as long, as well as Mortal Kombat 2021, which I did see actually, and I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it. He says it definitely should see Nobody. It's got some good action set pieces in it. Um, and yeah, I do feel that Kong vs. Godzilla was an improvement over the 1962 movie. At least that's just me personally. Then he rants on Mordom because it's absolutely terrible. It's a piece of shit. I guess Rue Morgue magazine had a quote saying, "This a malignant, seething hate work that maybe is the most abhorrent masterpiece to slither from the underground." Abhorrent is correct. A masterpiece, though, I don't understand that at all. Um, Then he talks about Ballbusters, which is Ghostbusters 2016, saying it's every bit as fun as the original. Yeah, I've seen those quotes before. They are pretty much bullshit. He's talking about upcoming reviews that he's looking forward to. And then he's talking about these other requests that he wants from me, which fair amount of titles that he's sent me in the past. And I'll definitely get around to a fair number of those as well. He mentioned some other titles that he might send me, which is really, really nice. Talks about how I should add some extra stuff to Letterboxd, which I definitely will sometime. And then he's proposing some things like after Friday's part 5 for 6, I can do Dawn of the Dead, Expendables 1 through 3, Angst, and Wait Until Dark before Friday 7 and 8. Um, nah, I think I'll still go with the plan with 6, 7, and 8. Um, that's just how I've decided to break things up. I appreciate the brainstorm though, the bit of brainstorming. Mentions he would like to see a review of The Hunt. Yeah, I still haven't reviewed that or the Invisible Man reboot. Want to do a video on Dark Place for sure. Says some good things about the other reviews that I've done recently. And yeah, I did enjoy Ninja Scroll. I just didn't think it was a great film. I thought it was okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention Lady Ben Saito. Uh, she was fine when it comes to the portrayal and how the character was written. Um, then he talks about Demon City. Um, Mentions Chad and how it tanked. Talks about Revenge of the Nerds. Talks about Coming to America. That's about Friday the 13th Part 5. Gives me some props for my Rambo reviews. Thank you. Thank you. Talks about the lesbian female Die Hard reboots. Yeah, that's a stupid idea. We really don't need that anymore. Yeah, I did hear about Scream 5. I don't really care. Or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2021, which is just called Texas Chainsaw Massacre yet again because they can't come up with any other fucking title. And talks about the Fright Night reviews. Um, yeah, I think I talked to you about this on Facebook where you mentioned something about a Fright Night remake where people are saying you should see the movie on its own and don't compare it to the original. And it sucks on its own. So that doesn't really apply to me. I mean, the Blob and the Fly remakes, they hold up on their own without even necessarily being uh, attached to either film. Like, they could have been called something else and they still would have been as great as they ultimately were. That is not the case with Fright Night because it's a bad film. Also talks about Conjuring 3, mentions other films he might get, talks about Space Jam 2, rants on the Mighty Ducks show, which, yeah, it does look pretty bad. I will say this, once all the episodes are out, I'll probably check it out. I think it'll be a fun video. At least it'll make for some fun ranting for you guys and gals. Yeah, I did hear about the prequel to the Grease show, and also a prequel to Rocky. We do not need a prequel to Rocky. Just stop, Sly. Not necessary. So yeah. Thank you for the letter. Um, and I'll get now. We'll get to the ratings, so at least. So he wants to know what my ratings are for the following films out of 5 stars. So, and he also wants to know what my rating scale means. Well, it's 0 to 5, and 0 is the worst of the worst. 1 is really bad. 2 stars is below average. 3 stars is okay, mediocre, time waster kind of film. 3.5 is above average. 4 is really good, and 5 is great, or excellent, or a instant classic. So that's really what my rating system is. I haven't done a lot of ratings in my videos anymore because it just became a little bit too much of a hassle. I just liked and preferred to just say whether or not the movie was good or not and just leave it at that. But since he asked, rating for Angel Heart, I gotta give it like 3.5. Like I liked it, but I didn't love it and had some issues with it. Ninja Scroll 3, Cyber City. That's a 3.5 out of 5 star OVA. Demon City. Sorry, I don't know why I almost said Demon Shitty Shinjuku. It's not a shitty anime at all. I really liked it. I give that 4. Neo Tokyo. I like some of the stories, but some of them were just kind of there. Uh, I really like the Running Man story, but really the one that I like the most is the Running Man, and the other ones are just there, so I'll give it 3. Coming to America, the first film, 3.5. The second one, 1, maybe 1.5. Running Scared, it's 3 stars. It's fine. It's decent enough. Tom and Jerry, 1.5. Revenge of the Nerds, the first one, I'm gonna give 3 stars. The second one, 3.5. The third one gets, that one is pretty bad, but I wouldn't say it's as bad as the fourth one, so I'll give that one 1.5 stars, and then the fourth one, Nerds in Love, I'll give 1 star. Zack Snyder's Justice League, I know it's not a popular opinion, but I only like the 30 minutes maybe out of the entire thing. So I'm going to give it like 1 or 2 stars. I'm probably going to go with 1 star because I don't think it was really um, just below average. I thought it was pretty bad. Breakfast Club, I really like that one. I'd probably give that one 4.5, around that range. St. Elmo's Fire, 3 stars. Loose Cannons, 3.5. John Wick films, the first one, 4.5. The second one, really like that too. I don't know. Like these John Wick movies are really good. First film, maybe I'll go with 4. Second one, no, the first one 4.5. Second one 4, because I did like the ending, but there were some other things. The third one 4.5. So really like the John Wick films. Attack Force 0 stars. Fuck that movie. With a grenade. Basic Instinct, the first one, really liked it. That's like a 4.5 star flick. I really like that one a lot. The sequel though is 1.5. Godzilla vs Kong, 3.5 stars. Boondock Saints, first one 3, second one 4. Rambo films, First Blood, 4.5. Second one 3. Rambo 3, 5 stars. I'm not kidding. I loved it that much. And Rambo 4, 4. And Rambo 5, 1.5. Friday the 13th, 1 through 5. The first one, 3 stars. Second one, 3.5. The third one, 3 stars. The fourth one, 5. The fifth one, 2.5. Mortal Kombat movies, because I did watch them recently again. The 1995 film, 4 stars. The sequel, Annihilation, I hated that so much. A half star. I hated it that much. Just fucking trash. And the 2021 film, I would give that a star rating of 3 or 3.5 out of 5. Mortem, 0. I'm not giving that anything. So that's it for my star ratings on those films, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and stay tuned for more Friday the 13th reviews and more requests and more videos on topics that I just feel like covering. Anyway, thank you once again for all your support, kind words, and for everything, and I'll see you later. See ya.